So we want to find x for this triangle. To find x, we're going to use trig functions. So what I'm going to do is, well, what I have here for this angle, I have the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Which trig function uses adjacent and hypotenuse of this? That's cosine. So what we're going to do here is this is going to be cosine 61 degrees is going to be equal to the adjacent, which is the x, over the hypotenuse. So we're going to set up a trig equation. Now I got to solve for x, because that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. That's gone. And what I now have is x equals 8 times cosine 61 degrees. And that is the answer exactly. But to get the decimal, which makes more sense, I have to stick it in my calculator. And then it's going to become an approximate. So that would equal 3.9 when you round it to the tenths place. That would be about your answer for this side. If I wanted to find this side, I would have used sine, because it would be opposite over hypotenuse, and I'd solve it for x. So a ladder, that's right here, leans against the side of a house. There's your house. The angle of elevation of the ladder is 75 degrees. So right there is 75 degrees, because this angle of elevation is 75 degrees. When the bottom of the ladder is 14 feet, right here, from the side of the house, find the length of the ladder. So you're trying to find that question mark. So I'm going to change the question mark to an x. And I want to find x. Well, if I have the angle 75 and I have 14, which is an adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse, we got to think what trig function uses adjacent and hypotenuse, and we realize it's cosine. So what would that be? Well, cosine of 75 degrees would be adjacent, which is 14 over hypotenuse. So we now need to solve for x. To solve for x, we're going to multiply both sides by x. So I now have x times cosine 75 degrees is equal to 14. All right, then we got to get x by itself, so we have to do another step and divide both sides by cosine 75 degrees. That disappears, and we have x equals 14 over cosine 75 degrees. Now that's the exact value, but we want to find the approximate decimal value. And you'll get 54.1, and those are feet. So, how many of you have a 54-foot ladder at your house? This is not very practical.